Of course, I want to say thank you to everyone for coming today on this great real world construction project that the Iroquois High School Construction Skills USA students have built under the guidance of the Skills USA advisors. And especially great thanks to Steve Anderson and John Owens. So at this time, I want to introduce the principal, Clay Holbrook.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Um, First, I'd like to welcome everyone. Thank you for being here today. This is a great honor. We're excited to have this is phase 2 of the amphitheater, and we'll be sharing a little more information about the progress of the amphitheater. But at this time, I'd like to make some special recognition. When I call your name or your group, if we could have you to please stand. I'd like to recognize local council person Vicki Welch, a 1973 Iroquois graduate, and local council person Marianne Butler. Thank you so much for being here today. I'd also like to recognize Mr. Weston, the Assistant Superintendent of Air Region and Area, and also the ETC for this region and area, and someone familiar with this project who actually started this a few years ago, who that was a principal during this time, and that's Mr. Chris Perkins. And then I'd also like to thank all of the JCPS facilities, employees that had anything and everything to do with making this possible. So at this time, if you're here, please stand, and thank you so much for this. I have not seen the representative, but I would like to recognize and thank Lowe's for their participation and donation to make sure that this took place. And you see a variety of things around here. Many times, Mr. Anderson, a variety of people would reach out, and they would have to say, hey, we need to do this or we need to do that. This is what's holding us up. And Lowe's was a huge partner in helping us with that. So I'd like to acknowledge Lowe's at this time. And before I hand it back over to Mr. Miller, I do want to take a personal time to thank the CTE department. It was a joint effort. We had the carpentry, the electricity, the plumbing program we had, the welding program. All of the departments that we had in the CTE program were very vital. They helped out in a variety of different ways, plus the students that came out and did a lot of hard work. If you saw any of the pictures that we had, you saw students, male, females, down on their hands and knees, working the concrete. So they did a variety of things. And then also a special thanks to Steve Anderson as being the project manager. At this time, I will turn it back over to Mr. Miller, and maybe he can stop the rain.
Steve Anderson worked with Mother Nature this morning. We invited Larry Johnson, the Kentucky State Skills USA State Representative Director, but with them having the State Skills Conference last week, he couldn't make it this week. So I'm going to say a few words. What is that? I'm going to say a few words for Skills USA, and I want to thank them, and of course Lowe's again, for helping us with this grant. December 20th, 2015, we put in the grant, and I was working with Steve Anderson, Darren Thompson, one of our ACE mentor leaders, Principal Holbrook, to get this grant put in, not thinking we had a chance to get it, much less $25,000. And this being the second $25,000 grant that Lowe's has given to Iroquois High School, the Skills USA chapter, and to the construction students on this great project. Dennis Shaw, as was mentioned earlier, of Bastrop Manor, presented this May 20th of this year, and then 2 weeks later, school's out. And Steve's looking at me, we got to get to work. Luck and Farley come through for us, and they developed our construction prints, and we went to JCPS facilities. It was a little nerve-wracking because we finally got approved by the board. Thank you. 9/16, so we have a November 30th deadline. We've got a month and a half to get this done. Steve did a great job on working with Earth's Concrete, Broughton Concrete, Wilson Equipment come through with loaning us equipment, like $9,000 worth of rental equipment they loaned to this school to get this project done. All the Iroquois teachers and students were fantastic the whole time. A lot of relationships and a lot of partnerships were developed. It's almost like family. We had our Iroquois family, we had our JCPS family, our Skills USA family, and like family, sometimes it didn't go the best. Every time I would come here and I would see Steve Anderson, I said, Steve, we need to hurry up. We need to get this moving. We got a deadline. He would look at me and said, don't worry, Terry, it'll be all right. But he did not have to walk back through grants and awards holding up signs, deadline coming, Terry, as I went to my office. So it's a blessing. We got it done, and everything became complete. With everyone helping out, we think as we look back how we got this done and how these students created such a project and was put together. The ACE mentors helped us with the plans, all these different companies, and then we move. And the Skills USA, as I mentioned, the state conference was last week. The Skills USA national representatives have been here to this facility and seen the great work they did in 2013. They're going to be here this summer and see the great work we've done in 2017. So there's going to be 6,000 students at the Skills USA Nationals this summer. All those students competing from 50 states and countries to participate and compete against the best in the nation. But what these Skills USA students have done here will be a legacy and a memory for them always. And no doubt about it, whatever happens in their future and their lifetime, they will always know that they had the skills to complete this project. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to recognize board member Ms. Duncan. And I'd also like to introduce to come up and say a few words, our fearless leader. They were actually telling stories earlier about when students showed up at the board meeting, sat in a conference room, and shared their ideal and their vision of making this happen. So at this time, I'd like to ask Dr. Harkins to come up, share a few words with us, please.
And actually, I have this wonderful opportunity to go around Jefferson County Public Schools. We have a plan, Vision 2020, that's on paper, but we have 2020 in action. So I see Vision 2020. I see it come alive. And as Clay said, it was Miss Duncan and Miss Porter were on the board at the time, where amazing Iroquois students pitched this idea, had this dream of, what if we built an amphitheater behind the school, right? Well, there was an apartment complex here, a building here, that had to be taken down. But they had plans, they were articulate, they pitched to the board this dream, remember Mr. Anderson, of what it could be. So I remember then the moment when the Bobcat, and a student was driving the Bobcat, and they were breaking ground for this project, where they were so proud of being able to start the project. And then to be here today in spite of the rain, right? And to say that dream became a reality. So we talk a lot in Vision 2020 about project-based learning. This is project-based learning. You have a plan, you work with experts in the field. So thank you to Lowe's and thank you to the ACES Mentor Program and Skills USA. So you work with experts and you learn along the way. So in less than 7 days, our students will take paper and pencil tests. But this is an authentic assessment of what the students at Iroquois High School can do and what they've learned. So congratulations, students. Fabulous, fabulous.
At this time, we'd like for Christy Rogers, Director of Career College Readiness, to come up.
We just want to say that you're going to see projects like this throughout this JCPS school system. We hope that with the work of the school community and the leadership, that Iroquois High School will become a talent development academy in the future, and we can expand college and career options for more opportunities like this with real world authentic student engagement. We're fired up about the process to help kids get out of that classroom and really do hands-on work through project-based. It is Vision 2020. Thank you to the principal and the leadership and the staff for getting this done. And the Office of College and Career Readiness is here to support this and expand these options for more opportunities for vocational education. That's the real message. You're going to see more of this throughout our high schools at Iroquois and throughout. So congratulations to everybody involved, and we're so proud of you for this project. Well done. Thank you.
At this time, we would like to have one of the participants of Skills USA and on the construction project, Gatlin Tidwell, come up.
Oh, hello. So, this was a extremely difficult process, but first I wanted to say thank you for the kind words said by everyone, for all the work that we put into this. I mean, what we did is even too much to say. It's too much. But it was a very long process that was extremely hard to finish. But I'm proud every day when I walk through here and I get to see all the hard work I put into this, all the hard work these people put behind me. And I think everybody should come up here and say a few words, but it's only me. So, but no, it was a pleasure working with Mr. Anderson, working with Mr. Owens, working with everyone who helped the students do this. And as you all can see in the crowd, this is commercial level work. This is not work that was thrown together so the students could do something. This was hard work, day in, day out. Rain, snow, did not matter. We came out here and we put the work into it. This was probably, I think, one of the most rewarding work I think I'll ever accomplish. And again, it wasn't just me. It wasn't just a little group of people. It was students coming out here when they didn't have to, students staying after school when they didn't have to, coming out here and truly putting blood, sweat, and tears into this. And you think I'm kidding. You think I'm kidding when I say blood, sweat, and tears. I'm not kidding. It was blood, sweat, and tears. A lot of frustration, but in the end, it was so much worth it when I get to look at these people in front of me, look at the people behind me, look at the cameras, and I keep seeing Anderson looking at me. You know, he actually wanted to pay me $10 to come out here and tell him to say compliments about him. Yeah. But I'm kidding, of course. But no, this is probably finishing the project, leaving here at that day will be one of the best days of my life. Understanding that me, these kids, all the kids inside that helped, really, really put the work into it. And hard then, and I love it now. Thank you.
It's been said several times, this started in 2012 and 13. And the leadership, at that time we had Darren Thompson as our ACE mentor. They developed the plans, went to Luckett and Farley, and drew the construction prints. Over all that time, we've had ACE mentor students. And today, I have Jeff Hoffman. I'd like to have to say a few words on behalf of the ACE mentors.
Great day. This took a long time for it to come around, but that's typical with construction. Sometimes there's setbacks. We hope that the kids got what we think they got out of this. We certainly did as ACE mentor. It's a great thing that we can go out and tout to other schools that we have done real world projects here in the community, and that's what we're going to continue to try to do, to give these kids the idea of what it takes to start a project and finish a project, and what all the issues are and all the blood, sweat, and tears that are in these kind of projects. So beautiful, beautiful facility, something for the community as well as the school. So everybody should be proud that goes here, that lives in this area, to have something this nice. And we just think that we were a part of it. Thank you very much.
All right, we are extremely honored to have you in attendance at our celebration today. Over the past 3 years, Lowe's has truly benefited the Iroquois High School Skills USA chapter, the construction-themed students, and the Iroquois community. Lowe's commitment to education through the Community Service Grant has helped to further educate and empower our young people who will become the next contractors, industry leaders, and community volunteers of the future. Last year on May 20th, 2016, the Iroquois High School Skills USA chapter received their second $25,000 community service grant. Iroquois High School is the Jefferson County Public School System's architectural, construction, and engineering magnet. Through the Lowe's grant, students have had the opportunity to work on a real-world project, and thanks to JCPS, it was done here on the Iroquois High School property. The students designed, planned, calculated, timelined the project, and then with the guidance of their construction teachers and local business and industry leaders, made the proposed amphitheater a reality. Students worked shoulder to shoulder with the local professionals from the construction industry. Project managers, architects, construction managers, equipment managers, lumber and material supply managers, facility managers, and municipalities, working on that word, were all involved in making this real-world construction project come true. With the help and guidance of Skills USA, the work on construction, a new stage for the Iroquois High School Amphitheater project was put into action. Final site plans were completed through our great ACE Mentor partners, Luckett and Farley. Then, with a stamp of approval from JCPS facility, and after a final bud inspection, ground was broken in September due to generous donations of a skid steer and a backhoe from Wilson Equipment. And moving forward, under the patient eye of the Skills USA, there were times when we had to adjust our materials and costs. Also, we may have had to ask a timeline extension once or twice due to Mother Nature, and so goes construction projects. Our local Lowe's hero, Dennis Shaw, was there for us whenever needed. Through working with construction teacher Steve Anderson, Dennis and his Bashford Manor Lowe's store provided us with everything we needed to prepare the stage, footers, and to complete the project with landscaping materials. In October, with the help of Ernst Concrete, the construction teachers and students poured 20 yards of concrete for the footer. It was a first-time opportunity for many of the Iroquois Skills USA construction students to have such a connection to industry in laying out and staking the footer and stage, to prepare the forms for the footer, to move and prepare the aggregate, and to pour the concrete. Then came November 16th, 2016. On a cool and slightly damp Wednesday morning in November at 7 a.m., things were hustling and bustling at Iroquois High School. On the very ground you are sitting on, concrete was brought in 10 professional concrete finishers with a concrete pump, and we're ready to go. At 7:15, the large green Ernst concrete truck were rolling and lining up to pour 80 yards of concrete. Again, with thanks to all involved, the students of the Iroquois High School Skills USA chapter were able to participate in a real construction project at their school. We don't at this time know the final count of how many of these students will enter into the architectural, construction, or engineering career fields, but we do know that they are given a valuable career opportunity on the inside of all those careers. The students here today will have this memory with them always, that they helped to build the Iroquois High School Community Amphitheater and stage. And it brings to the community and to the school a beautiful venue for outdoor concerts, plays, farmers markets, and a place where the Iroquois High School band can practice along with the teachers using it for outdoor classrooms. This project has reinforced the students' career and technical education experience through the practical use of their skills while enhancing its involvement with the community. The partnership between Lowe's, Skills USA, and Iroquois High School had an important impact on the education and community. Our students and teachers are champions at work, and these grants have allowed them to build stronger communities together. We thank Lowe's for helping our Skills USA chapter, the students, and the teachers to become even more effective. At this time, we'd like to do the ribbon cutting.
We love Iroquois.
There we go.
Woo!